What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Jordan Cameron back with another video today as we update the biggest blow off top in crypto history, followed by the biggest rug pull in crypto history. Well, there you have it, guys. For anyone that was a little worried over the last few days, like we said in the last video, guys, all we are getting is a retest on Ethereum. All we're getting is a retest on total market cap, and we are expecting the market to continue to blow off to the upside until we get our stablecoin dominance chart back to 4.9%. Today, we're going to go over Bitcoin dominance, our total market cap chart, where we're looking total market cap to have a massive blow off top up to the 4236 Fibonacci level, $10 trillion, where everyone will say crypto will change the world, back at the top of our macro rising wedge, which, if you know anything about chart patterns, is ultimately a bearish pattern, and we're looking for it to break to the downside. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump on into the video. And obviously, we're going to start off with our thesis here. And for anyone that's new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe for you here for the journey of the biggest blow off top in crypto history, followed by the biggest, what people will call the dot-com bubble 2.0, what people will call a scam. Make sure you're here for the whole journey. Subscribe to the channel, guys. But what we're looking for in this channel, we've been talking about it since the tariff lows back here in March and April, when we came back down and had a false deviation low. Back down here at the bottom of our macro rising wedge, which we've been forming since the 2017 top, right, is that we are expecting the crypto total market cap to have biggest blow off top in crypto history. We are not a channel here that is going to start saying this as we break into all-time highs. We are not going to state the obvious. We're going to do what's the opposite of what people think, right? And if we go back over here to Bitcoin, right, like we stated over here for Bitcoin, when Bitcoin hit our 50 moving average bands, which aren't popping up for some reason, but each one of these times we came into the 50 moving average band, there we go, now it pops up, right? That was the bottom on Bitcoin, and that was the time to be bullish when everyone was bearish during the tariffs. And we were expecting from that point that crypto total market cap is going to make a big blow off top up to 10 trillion, which, as you guys know, is a psychological number. The whales love psychological numbers, right? The 4236 Fibonacci, which also is, if you pull a Fibonacci from our 2017 high to our 2018 low, and you just pull up a 4236 Fibonacci, you guys can see that we also topped out the 4236 Fibonacci right here in 21. That's what I'm expecting to happen in this bull cycle as well. And that also puts us, conveniently, if the 4-year cycle is going to play out again, which everyone always says the 4-year cycle is not going to play out. And once again, it looks like it's going to play out the same way. In my opinion, where the market is going to top sometime in Q4, right? Up here at the 4236, up here at the 10 trillion point, and at the top of this rising wedge, right when it's supposed to in the 4-year cycle. Now, why have we been confident about this, right? As we kind of go along, for all the new people out to the channel and for everyone that's been on the journey so far, right? Are we worried that the market's going to not continue up? Well, I'm not at all, right? And I've been saying this since total market cap was down at 2 trillion here. I'm not worried at all. I think the market's going to continue higher, and our main base case for this, right, has been the stablecoin dominance chart. And until we see, stablecoin dominance reach back down to 4.91%, which it bottomed here in March of 2024 and December 2024, I'm not worried at a top 4 crypto until I see us at least reach those lows. I actually think we're going to go slightly lower, but I will be definitely cautioning and definitely waving the warning signs that it's time to take profits in this market heavily, especially when we reach this 4.91% on stablecoin dominance. As you guys can see, we've been in a massive range on stablecoin dominance since 2023. And if you know anything about the stablecoin dominance chart, it is inversely correlated to the crypto market. So what I think is happening here, right, as stablecoin dominance moves down, obviously we're seeing total market cap move up, and that's been our main driver of why we continue to, through the dips, say ignore the news, ignore the inflation news, ignore the tariff news, ignore the war stuff. We're going to continue to expect the crypto market to continue higher until stablecoin dominance reaches 4.91%, despite the news. And ultimately, what I think is going to happen is this is going to form one massive Wyckoff accumulation schematic, where this continues down, total market cap continues up, right? But ultimately, this actually gets a massive pump right, or stablecoin dominance gets a massive move up, which causes total market cap to get a massive crash. And that's ultimately been our thesis since the lows, and people won't like that, right? As this market continues higher, and we talked about this when we were down here towards 2 trillion, 2.5 trillion, when total market cap starts to break into new all-time highs, and the higher this market goes, the more warning signs I'm going to tell you guys, and the more hate that I'm going to get in the comments section. Just watch. Right, I've been bullish this whole way up, and I'm going to continue to be bullish, but I'm going to continue to state as the higher this moves up, make sure you guys are taking chips off the table the closer and closer and closer we get to that 4236 Fibonacci extension, right? And people are going to like that, right? People are going to say crypto is going to change the world. There's probably going to be a lot of narratives when stablecoin dominance gets back down to these lows, but we are smart on this channel, right? We were bullish when no one was throughout 2022, 2023. Especially during the tariff stuff down here, as many altcoins were at cycle lows, and now we're moving up, right? ETH was at 1,100 and has now moved up. That was the time to be bullish, right? But now, right, as we continue up, right, we continue to look for our warning signs, right? We've done the hard part, which is buy the fear. Now we do which I think is the actual hardest part, which is sell the euphoria, right? I don't think we're in euphoria yet. We have our signals, which we'll go over our Coinbase app ranking in a little bit. That's my main signal. But ultimately, as we kind of go along, I'm really not too worried. I think the market's going to continue higher, guys, until we get the stablecoin dominance chart back down to 4.91%. Now, in other news, right, if we kind of go for timing, right, and this is, this helps us with price, right? Stablecoin dominance helps us with price. But what about timing? Well, that's where we use the global liquidity versus the Bitcoin chart, right? And we know anything about this. This has worked perfectly for the past 2 to 3 years, guys. Bitcoin follows global liquidity to an absolute T. It has continued to do it and actually has lagged slightly behind global liquidity, right? But anytime that we've seen it lag slightly behind, we see a quick catch up. And what I'm expecting here is that we're going to see a massive move up for crypto up until about at least mid-September to the end of September, right? Where we see some type of short-term pullback, most likely, that wipes all the over-leveraged traders out sometime in the middle of September to end of September. But until that point, I am expecting time-wise that we have about a month to a month and a half of upside here for the crypto market until we see another big pullback. And that month and a month and a half does not sound like a long time. And this is where my video title comes in, is there's not a lot of time left, okay? Well, that's where that comes from, guys. And if you know anything about the crypto market, guys, it happens quick. We go over here in 2021, guys, when the crypto market broke all-time highs in January of 2021, the market topped, right, realistically, in May of 2021, right? There was really only 4 months left in the market cycle from that point. Yes, we went slightly higher, but ultimately we did not go high enough for it to be any substantial higher, right? So there was only 4 months left in the crypto market. If we go over to 2017, right, we probably use Bitcoin as more of an indicator in that sense, right? If we go over to 2017, guys, right, really, if we use Bitcoin as any indicator, it broke all-time highs in April 2017. There was only eight months left in the cycle once Bitcoin broke all-time highs. Bitcoin has been above all-time highs already at this point for about 8 months, right? So I don't think there's a lot of time left in this cycle, especially when we look at our stablecoin dominance chart, especially when we look at our Bitcoin global liquidity, even though I do think global liquidity can make another push up, and ultimately the market can continue higher into, sort of November, December of this year. But ultimately, timing-wise, I don't think there's a lot of time left. And I think the biggest indicator of the fact that I don't think there's a lot of time left is now that we're seeing Ethereum, right? Everyone's most hated coin. You guys notice the trend of the most hated coin typically is the one that pumps, right? It was XRP, right? And conversely, XRP broke its all-time high, and now it's Ethereum, right? Actually, today, wicking its all-time high, right? And we talked about as soon as Ethereum gets into those all-time highs in price discovery, which it hasn't done yet, right? It's still below, still at a point where we could chop around over here for a few days, maybe. But ultimately, once we get out of there for Ethereum, which I do think is coming, that's going to be the signal for over here on our total 3 chart, for our total 3 chart, which also is in a macro rising wedge, to get that move up to the 2618 to 3618 Fibonacci level, right? That really what it is Ethereum breaking all-time highs causes euphoria for the retail speculators, right? For your Uncle Tom and your Uncle Bill and your cousin Henry, right? Your cousin Henry with the one leg, right? That's what causes the euphoria there, okay? But ultimately, that's what gets everyone sucked into the top of the market for the altcoin market. And that is the signal that we are, in my opinion, getting close to the end of the cycle. Is typically when we see Ethereum run, there's not that much time left. All right, we're talking 4 months max. Okay, and also another signal is over here on Bitcoin dominance as it continues to fall. As we talked about last video, I do think that Bitcoin dominance top is in, and we are going to see it move down to this green box for Bitcoin dominance ultimately, where I think we find some type of higher low before we see Bitcoin dominance actually chop back up to the top of this again throughout the bear market. But ultimately, right now, I think we got a lot of time left for the altcoins to make a massive move against their Bitcoin pairs. And I've said many, many times, Bitcoin will go higher in my personal opinion. I still think Bitcoin's got higher to go, right? I don't know how high, 140, 150. We'll kind of talk about it as we go. But ultimately, I think what the main driver of the crypto market getting up to this 10 trillion psychological level will be the altcoin market. And think about it, guys. We're at 4 trillion right now. We just came from 2 trillion. Imagine a world, okay, and I'm going to continue to say this as we kind of go along, where we do get it moved to the 10 trillion point and Bitcoin dominance is actually dropping. What that would tell us ultimately is that altcoins are majorly outperforming Bitcoin, and another $6 trillion gets injected into the crypto market. Imagine what that's going to do to the altcoin market. And I really do think, right, when I have this 1.7 to 2.5-ish altcoin sort of levels here, right? Once again, that's going to be for everything besides Bitcoin, ETH, and stable coins. Obviously, ETH is going to add a significant amount. I wouldn't be surprised if ETH adds another $1 trillion to its market cap. I know that sounds crazy, all right? And we see the altcoin market add another 3 to 4 trillion, or not 3, 2 to 3 trillion to its market cap. Wouldn't be surprised, right? So it all comes together, guys. It all comes together, and everything is coming together, right? Bitcoin dominance is dropping, stablecoin dominance continues to drop, and when you have that sort of comparison and both those things happening at the same time, where stablecoin dominance is dropping, which means the crypto market is going up, and Bitcoin dominance is dropping, which means altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, that's when you're going to see the massive rallies for the altcoin market, and that's where it's really going to get this total market cap chart really driving to the upside, okay? But it all starts over here with the Ethereum chart as we patiently await the breakout into price discovery for Ethereum, and a lot of our top altcoins, right? XRP, right? Still just flirting with that 2017 high, right? Chainlink absolutely mooning now, but getting really, really, really close to its cycle highs, right? We got Crow, which is making big moves. A lot of our picks, right? Aave, right? Cardano, BNB, right? A lot of our utility coin picks either breaking already in new highs or, right, pushing up into close to new cycle highs, where we get a lot of coins still at the lows, okay? Which I do think there's a lot of opportunities in the market for a lot of these coins that are still sitting at the lows, guys. A lot of opportunities, but we're not going to go too deep into individual altcoins. We're going to kind of, go as we go along, but, just to go over some of our top signals, we're going to do this every single video as we go along to make sure we're not getting too euphoric, make sure we're not getting over our heads, make sure we're staying realistic, right? We're not getting too crazy. Right, our Coinbase app indicator, which is going to be our number one top indicator as we go along in this bull market, guys. Just to remind you, for anyone that's new, crypto topped when the Coinbase app got the number one app on the Apple App Store the last two market cycles, right? 2017, Coinbase hit the number one app in the App Store. The market was topped, okay? It was only there for about a few days, right? And it was an almost accurate crypto top call, okay? 2021. Right? Same kind of deal, right? We can kind of go to maybe I can show you guys here, right? 2021, right? Coinbase hit the number one app. It's really hard to pinpoint the exact day, but we did hit the number one app in, I think, May 2021, which is also the day that I think it was the same day that Dogecoin was on Saturday Night Live. And that was the top of the market, right? So you can see over here in 2017, the yellow, Coinbase did hit number one, okay? Right there, 12/14, 2017, right? And then also over here in May of 2021, it did, right? And those are the two tops of the cycles. We have not gotten close to the number one app yet. We've gotten, I think, as high as number 10. That typically signals a possible local top. But until we get to that number one app on the App Store for Coinbase, I'm going to continue to think that this market's going to continue higher. Yes, it's going to have its pullbacks. Yes, we haven't seen Ethereum breakout totally yet, so we still could chop around here for a little bit and kind of make everyone irritated and pissed off. But yet, I don't think that's going to matter. And ultimately, I think what we're waiting for here for total market cap getting this biggest blow off top and the euphoria to come back is we be worried when stablecoin dominance gets as close to this 4.91% level. And we get worried when our Coinbase app, our Coinbase app, right, in the Apple Store basically hits, right? Hits what? What does it hit? Right? Number one, right? And until then, we expect that the market's going to continue higher. All right. So that's the video update today, guys. I think we got a lot of fun days coming. Still continuing to grind up on total market cap. Still continuing to grind up on ETH. Still continuing to grind up on Bitcoin and all your favorite altcoins. And I think we got a massive rally here over the next few weeks to months. Okay. So, guys, I'm going to be doing a live. I mentioned it on Twitter. Okay. I don't think there's a lot of time left. I don't think there's a lot of time left. 4 months max. I'm ready to sell on. It's just getting started noobs. I'm ready to sell on them. All right. Live stream next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys are here. I haven't done a live stream in a long time. Okay. I feel refreshed. We're going to do a live stream next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell your wife, tell your kids, be there. All right. We're going to go over all our fun stuff. We're going to, you guys can ask questions. You guys can tell me what you think, right? Because it's not all about what I think. Okay. It's not about what I think. So we're going to live stream 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys are there or you're going to be a little square. I don't know. But it's been your boy, Jordan Cameron. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our journey of the biggest blow off top in crypto history, followed by the biggest rug pull in crypto history. Shout out to the haters in the comments. Hope you guys don't FOMO at the highs. Anyways, catch you guys in the next video, which probably will be this weekend. And I'll catch you guys in the live stream on Tuesday. See ya.